Howdy, I am CharLee Simons, your host here on Do Not Talk. Talk about two things you're never supposed to talk about, politics and religion. Talking about things I'm not supposed to talk about, talking to the people I'm not supposed to talk to. Like Tad Sampson. He's with SampsonOutdoors.com. He organizes hunting trips and fishing trips and different kinds of excursions for veterans. I love this, and there's a reason why, and a very powerful reason why. Those are the men or women who have been on the front lines or have been part of support units of those who are actually out doing the fighting. And we're seeing it, in alternative media sources like me, but you're not seeing it on the news. You're not seeing it in mainstream media. What's going on in Iran? There's so much hand-wringing going on. Oh, no. We're in another war. It's going to be another ground war. Oh, we don't stand a chance. Oh, Iran is so powerful. It's got such a powerful Navy and Air Force and Army, and they're absolutely unstoppable. And there's nothing we can do about it. Iran is just too big of an opponent. We're going to get in a quagmire in the Middle East. It's going to spark conflict everywhere. It's going to start World War III. We don't stand a chance. What is President Trump doing? Why is he doing this? He's getting us in so many problems. He said we weren't going to get into long-term wars anymore, but look what he's starting there. This is going to take forever. I'm sorry, what? People on my side of the aisle, my own fellow Republicans and conservatives, doing all the hand-wringing. They're some of the ones that have been the most vocal against any kind of conflict in Iran, but there's a reason for it, and there's a reason behind it. I believe a lot of it is to take out China. Really, seriously, take away their money, take away their oil, and they're not going to be attacking Taiwan or anyone else. And it's working. Iran, Venezuela, coming up next, Cuba. It's vitally important that we take care of this now while we can. All the other presidents have just talked about this. Obama sent Iran almost $2 billion in cash on pallets flown in the middle of the night. Why? We sold them uranium through Russia. That was Hillary Clinton. Why? I do believe it's part of the New World Order, one world government crowd wanting to perpetuate World War III, depopulation, see. No better way to take out millions of people than starting up a nuclear war. Well, our soldiers, our fighters, our Marines, our seamen, our airmen, all take the responsibility of voting here in the United States of America so seriously that they do these absentee ballots, and they do vote, and they do pay attention, and they're involved. You know who's not involved right here in the good old United States of America? My own fellow gun owners. 10 million hunters and gun owners not even registered to vote. What? With the general election just over a month from now, the primary here in California on June 2nd, reports hold that millions of potential voters whose gun rights are at play aren't even registered. Data from Vote for America indicates upward of 10 million American hunters and gun owners in the United States are not currently even registered to vote. This apparent political apathy among gun owners is especially worrying in key swing states where it is expected that the outcome of the election could come down to just a few thousand votes in a handful of counties. As detailed by American Hunter, states with the most sportsmen are not yet registered to vote in the upcoming presidential election. It includes Pennsylvania with over 500,000 each, in Georgia, Michigan, Missouri, North Carolina, Virginia, and Wisconsin. The states with the fewest number of unregistered sportsmen and women are Arizona at 133,000, Nevada with over 59,000, Montana over 52,000. Well, I think the best thing to do right now is to get Sad Sampson. I don't know. Maybe he goes by Sad Sampson. Maybe he does sometimes. You never know. Let's ask him. I should probably start over again. Do over. 5. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's do it. Let's get him into the mix and find out what he has to say about how to get some gun owners a little bit more involved and get them to do their civic duty on Do Not Talk. Are you ready? Hit it.
Yeah! Woo!
I'm glad you're on. Thank you very much. You and I share mutual friendship with somebody that I admire and respect more than most, and that's Bob Patterson. I want to thank him for introducing me to you. Let's start off. First of all, I want to see your website. Welcome to the hunt. Sampson Outdoors. And you got some videos on there of different trips that you have done, hunting trips. That's very cool. And I really liked when I scrolled down to this and I saw this guy right here. Somebody else I really admire and respect.
Ted Nugent reporting for duty. Greetings from the Nugent family, and much love and appreciation from not just the Nugent family, but all American families that know that freedom is not free. A big salute to the United States military veterans and their families for the risks and sacrifices they've taken, and also to my fellow sportsmen celebrating the spirit of the wild as the ultimate healing powers of God's miraculous nature in the great outdoors. The Sampson Outdoors and Wild Ops are auctioning off a pork slam. We're going to go after some angry bacon with Ted Nugent in 2026. So dig deep and give all you can to those who gave all they can, because it's inexcusable in the United States of America, land of the free and the home of the brave, where freedom is the battle cry of defiance in the U.S. Constitution and the sacred oath thereof. Thank you, everybody, for helping out. 22 veterans committing suicide every day. We have to put an end to this, and we're going to do it with generosity, love, support, and going on a pig hunt with Ted Nugent. So I love you people. These military veterans are at risk, but we can mitigate and ultimately eliminate the risk that they're taking beyond the wars. So thank you, U.S. military veterans. Thank you, Sampson Outdoors and Wild Ops. I'm like an outdoor wild op. Ted Nugent, Spirit of the Wild, will cleanse your soul. Thank you, everybody. The Nugent family thanks you. We support you, and we pray for the heroes of the U.S. military and their families. Godspeed, good hunting, and may the Great Spirit be forever at your side. Uncle Ted loves you people madly.
That's pretty dang cool. So you've partnered up with him, and you're serving the veterans of the United States of America and helping to do your part to encourage them and give them a feeling of community and camaraderie and a place where they can feel plugged in. I know a lot of military folks, and I also am involved with the military. And a lot of these guys, when they come back, especially from combat, what people don't realize is it's a cohesive unit. And yes, they're fighting for our freedoms, but also they're fighting to protect each other. And you build this team, a unit, and you're willing to jump on a grenade to protect others in your unit. That's after all those years or hours rather, and days of training together. You build up a family. It's a family, your new family. And then when you get out, you go back into the civilian world, oftentimes you just feel so lost because you don't have, first of all, you don't have that structure. You don't have that cohesive unit working together with a common goal. That's all gone. And you're back amongst the civilians who are like all basically everything for me and nothing for you. And they're all fighting and clawing at each other, trying to better themselves. And you could just get so lost. And he's right when he said 22 per day taking their own life. That's on average. 22 per day. It's been that way for a while now because oftentimes they'll fall back into drugs, or they'll fall into doing drugs or a lot of alcohol. And that just compounds it and makes it only worse as they're searching for that same kind of feeling of camaraderie coming together. So they wind up taking their own lives, and that's horrible because I hold military people to a higher standard than most because they were willing to put their lives on the line to fight for what they believe in. And they just feel so lost oftentimes. I know way too many that still years later struggle with that. So I love what you're doing, and I thank you for it, Tad.
Well, I tell you, CharLee, it's not just me, and I need to acknowledge the efforts that are put forth by Wild Ops and Jeff Morris, the owner and president of Wild Ops. We've had a lifelong opportunity between him and I, and of course my cousin Scott Robinson, who is the son of Cy Robinson with Duck Dynasty. Scott's the one that originally got me involved, introduced me to Jeff Morris, and that's where all Sampson Outdoors came along and Wild Ops partnered. And at this point, I do a lot of different functions, not just the banquets, but also IDPA shootout, what have you, here in Sacramento to help the organization out, raise funding for the at-risk veterans. These are folks that have fought and given us our freedoms, and so many people have just overlooked that. They don't see it. They don't see it firsthand. And I'm very proud to be part of that organization, to be part of this opportunity to give back to those folks who've given us our freedoms. And like you said, trying to adapt to civilization after being at war is extremely difficult on these veterans. And something that the organization does, Wild Ops, is we reunite those folks with other veterans in small groups. They get those folks out to fishing and hunting in the outdoors in the wild. It is a faith-based opportunity for them to get together with brothers of the same type, same mindset. As you mentioned, many of them are in the realms of alcoholism, drug addiction. They have nowhere to turn. They turn a lot to the VA hospitals, and the first thing that happens is they send them in front of a counselor, send them in front of a psychiatrist, and then they apply the standard medication process to medicate them, and it doesn't work.
No, that's the automatic go-to, and I hate that. I think that's terribly unfortunate. So I love even more what you're doing, and I'm grateful for you and that organization that you're a part of. And it's wildops.org, WILDOPS, Wild Ops, Wild Operations, wildops.org. And keep fighting the good fight, man. A lot of us, too, don't want to do any kind of counseling. It's kind of like law enforcement. They don't really want to go see a counselor or anything like that because you might be perceived as weak. So men don't really have a lot of support groups for the most part, as we know. Women do, and they lift each other up and talk to each other, and they can have honest conversations. We don't. We really don't. We keep so much of it surface because we challenge each other. Men challenge each other all the time to try and, show that we're better, or we're more accomplished at something than somebody else. That's just what we do. We always seem to be in competitive mode. And so we don't have that support group from our own close personal friends. Even in your own unit, you don't really share the terrors that you might be going through. The post-traumatic stress disorder is a very real thing when fighting men and women, but mostly men, see things in a short period of time that most of us will never see in our entire life. And then they have to try and deal with that. Am I doing the right thing? I've taken lives? Am I responsible for that? Is the Lord going to hate me because I've killed somebody. I wish that there was more Christian counseling available for that kind of thing. But again, most vets won't reach out that way. They just won't. So they self-medicate.
No, in fact, that's what we do, CharLee, is that with Wild Ops and via Sampson Outdoors, we seek the veteran that doesn't want the help, whether they may be criminals, they may have a past, they may have problems that they don't want to confront. And we have seen on a more than one occasion here in just in the last year where I had a gentleman call me up and say, hey, talk to a friend of mine. His brother's going through a real difficult time. He's a veteran. He just told his wife tonight that don't follow me. He got in his Ford pickup with a 45 strapped to his arm, to his shoulder, and he was walking out of the house. And we sent counselors out. We have contacts throughout the nation that Wild Ops sent out, contacted. We're able to intercept this gentleman and save his life. So we seek out, Wild Ops, I should say, seeks out. They have the counseling team that seeks them out, pulls them in, gets them involved, and doesn't force any drugs or anything else, but it is Christian based. A lot of prayers are sent up and a camaraderie with the other vets. It's a huge process. You talk to people like Bob Patterson. Bob Patterson been shot down 3 times in Vietnam. And I first met Bob a couple of years ago. Bob said to me, this is what I've been through. It's horrendous. I don't really want to talk about it. And after time went on, he shared a few things with me, which I won't disclose now. But I will tell you, he's been through a lot. And my course of action after hearing this, which is, I think, most people that they automatically would say to any veteran, thank you for your service. And Bob's reaction to me was, don't ever thank me for my service.
Yeah, he says that same thing all the time.
Don't ever thank me for my service. He says a couple of things after that I won't repeat. But, the whole thing is that I can't relate to what he's been through. I can't relate to what some of these other veterans have been through, but I can do my part through Sampson Outdoors and through working with Wild Ops and their counselors to get these folks together. And if I can save one more life today, CharLee, I may not be the best person on this planet, but I'm working to be pretty decent at it.
Well, I appreciate it. I'll tell you that. There's no question that vets they recognize their civic duty of voting, so much so that they will do absentee ballots. So even if they're overseas, they're still able to vote. And they follow what's going on, who's running, and so on. They take that seriously. But gun owners, and I'm sure you're a gun enthusiast, as I am, we suck at it. We're one of the worst groups when it comes. We're not even registered to vote. And when I've talked to people at gun shows and so on, their attitude is always, I don't want to be on a list. I don't want to be a target. Well, you already had to register your weapons, didn't you now? So believe me, you're on a list. And I've also heard this before too. Well, I don't want to do jury duty. So I don't register to vote. And they don't even know that that's all done through the DMV now. That's not even done through voter registration. So everything's going through the DMV, at least in California, isn't it? They're basically turning the Department of Motor Vehicles into another arm of the IRS when it comes to law enforcement and so on. It's crazy. While at the same time doing very unlawful things by getting, you want to talk about the illegal aliens, everything's going through the DMV, including getting registered to vote. And I think that that's appalling. It's done a horrible disservice to the people of California. And I want to see it end, but we can't see that kind of thing end until we get some good people running for office and get them into positions where they can do something about it. And I'm far on the right. I support the Republican Party, although as a delegate with the California GOP, and I'm going to be at the convention next week. I'm appalled at what I see from my own party oftentimes, but no, I'm in there fighting. I'm in there fighting against it. The infiltration of the left and the GOP of California has got to stop. It's got to stop. But we have some great people running for office right now, especially for the office of governor. And 2 Republicans are polling higher now than all the other Democrats combined, basically. So everybody's saying we're going to finally get a Republican governor. Are we? We haven't done anything to change the minds of people registered to vote. We don't show up for primaries. We don't show up for midterm elections. We suck at it. It's in the teens.
Well, Charlie, it's got to start at the grassroots. We got to get out there. We got to motivate these gun owners. We got to motivate people in general. The problem that I think you see is that whether it's they want to blame it on the apathy, the fact that maybe they don't feel that the perception that voting opportunity doesn't count. We see the fraud that goes on. With 300 dead people that are registered to vote. They see this over and over again, and I think it's not just gun owners, but maybe specifically gun owners in this case, where they don't believe that their vote counts, and we need to change that attitude, because if we don't start at the grassroots up, we're never going to change that. And we've got a lot of policies that need to be changed. But I think with the Save America Act, which I think that's coming up, obviously it's in the Senate right now after the Easter holiday here, the vacation. Maybe we get the Senate to rule on that and in favor of the limit the mail-in ballots. I don't know. Obviously, with the absentee ballots, with the veterans, what have you, that'll still remain in place. But it's important to start from the grassroots, move forward, motivate these folks, all gun owners. The other thing is too, I think that the gun owners are more of an advocate and more interested in the Second Amendment, obviously, the gun control and what's going to happen there than anything else.
California keeps enacting laws, putting things in place without ever bringing it to a vote. They do it through their Senate bills, SB and AB bills that they just push right through because they have a super majority in California. And then Governor Hairdo signs them into law, and we never even know about it. And they've targeted guns so extensively in the state of California. There's things that have now been signed into law as of the first of the year. People don't even realize how bad it is until they actually go to a gun store, try and make a purchase, try and buy ammunition. You now have to get a DOJ clearance just to buy ammunition.
Yeah, and you're charged for it too. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're charged for that DOJ check. That's right.
That's correct. Yeah, every time you turn around, it's this charge, that charge. I mean, there was a point where you had to sell your firstborn just to get a box of ammunition. We've all understand the 10-day wait, right, on the guns, but the ammunition took it too far. And now you have the AB 1912 bill, which is almost a positive bill, where we're going to allow the concealed weapon to be carried during archery season for the archery hunters out of protection. So maybe there's a few steps forward and a few back, but hopefully you can keep moving forward with this voting.
That's the only positive one I know of. The rest of them are all very, very negative. And every time anyone on the left says, we're not coming after your guns, well, you're a liar. You absolutely are.
They 100% are coming after your guns. Yeah.
I encourage everyone to own a gun, especially women, all my female friends and family members. I'm always telling them, get a gun. I'll go with you. I'll go to the store. I'll help you pick a good one for you. Please get a gun. This is your constitutionally protected right to own and carry firearms. And you need to get one, because things are getting to a point now, as we're seeing all across the country, where if somebody, just one person, would have actually been carrying when one of these nutbags, especially the Islamic extremists, is shouting Allah Akbar, if somebody there actually had a weapon, they could have stopped it. They could have stopped the carnage. But we don't. We see examples of it, like that one church shooting in Texas where the one dude with a gun said, "Oh, no, you don't," and took the shooter out. But that's unfortunately few and far between. So I'm always encouraging everybody, while you can, before they try and make that illegal, get yourself a gun, please.
Yeah.
One for your home, one for you.
Well, CharLee, I had conversations with some folks that knowing I was going to come on the show and talk to a number of the officers that I work with on a daily basis. And one in particular here in the neighborhood mentioned to me, he says, government, he said, we need to stop with the government trying to take away the guns and concentrate not on the gun owner, but concentrate on the problem, the mental illness. You take a look at the shootings that occur. Typically, it's some kind of gender individual. It's
these
somebody
cross-dressing freaks or
whatever you want to call them, but they're not welcome in my house. Let's put it that way. These are the folks we need to deal with, the mental issues. We need to deal with the criminal activities, not the general gun owner out there. I've owned guns for over 50 years. And as I've told many other people, I've never had one of them escape from my house and shoot somebody on its own. Not one.
It's just a tool. It's just another tool that you want to definitely have in your arsenal. Right next to the hammers and the wrenches. It's just a tool. That's all it is. It's a tool.
That's correct.
And you want to be proficient at it. That's to your benefit. And you want to be mentally and physically prepared, because once the adrenaline kicks in an actual situation, all bets are off if you haven't trained with it. So I always suggest that too. How do we get them to vote? How do we get gun owners to actually get registered? And we have till May 9th. May 9th is the cutoff to get registered if you're going to vote in the primary election. But if you just want to wait until the big one in November, I hope you don't. I hope you get involved in the primary, because elections are won and lost in the primaries in this state because of the jungle primary. Do that at register2vote.ca.gov. Register2vote.ca.gov. Please do that. Get registered now. But how do you have any insight as to how we can actually encourage gun owners to really make that move?
I'm reaching out to every one of the members that we have with Sampson Outdoors, and with social media. Obviously, that has a big play in it. What you're doing is going to help encourage folks. I hope they take a look and listen to what you have to say, CharLee. I'm doing everything I can, and within my community, within my reach. I have a lot of real well known, as you know, Kevin Kiley supports us on the Republican side. He even gave Sampson Outdoors the congressional recognition for what we do for the vets, and working through our politicians. I have real good connections with a few of the congressmen out of Montana. Troy Downing is one of the friends of mine that I deal with and talk with him on a regular basis. Of course, we're some of the celebrities, Jeff Keith with Tesla, Ted Nugent reaches out to folks. We're going to be meeting with him in Michigan coming up in October. So we're going to do what we can on our end to try to encourage each and every one of these gun owners to get out and vote. And we're going to encourage it at the local level and nationally the best that we possibly can.
Let's say I want to get involved with that boar hunt with Ted Nugent. How do I do that?
Well, you got to know somebody. Pick up the phone and call Ted Sampson at Sampson Outdoors. We can get you involved with that. Any problem? No, Ted actually does a pork slam, and you can see it online. He does that with many hunters throughout the year, and he gives back to the community. He's a huge supporter to our veterans. So he's a great guy. He's a bit outspoken at times, but I really appreciate everything Uncle Ted has done for us, and we're looking forward to meeting with him. And if you want to join us, you let me know, and we'll be there, CharLee. I know we've got actually Bob Patterson's nephew, Ross, is a very close friend of Uncle Ted, and he is supposed to fly back there and meet with us as well. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out.
Well, do you want to give your contact information out over the air for anybody who wants to join you on this trip or any future trips? How do we do that?
Well, you can email us at clubhunton21 @gmail.com. That's club, CLUBHUNTON 21 @gmail.com. Or you can give me a call. I don't care. Call my personal cell phone, 916-947-2728. That reaches
Nobody's
me.
ready to write down a phone number, so you're going to want to say that again and a little more slowly.
You bet. 916-947-2728. 916-947-2728. That's my personal cell phone. Feel free to give me a call. Any questions you have, SampsonOutdoors.com. You can see all that information on our website as well.
Yeah, I think that's great, man. I love that you're doing this. Thank you so much for being there. And I hope we can get some gun owners to actually take their civic duty seriously. This is the last thing you want to sit by and, somebody else will take care of it. This is not the time. We need everybody. We need all hands on deck for this upcoming primary election. It's June 2nd, and you got to get registered before May 9th. Register to vote.ca.gov. Register to vote.ca.gov. Let's talk about some of your hunting trips. Share with us some stories where things maybe just didn't go quite the way they were planned. I love hearing stuff like that. Because any military mission, they never go exactly how they were planned out, no matter how carefully they were planned.
Well, I'll tell you, overall, the adventures we've had have been fantastic. We've partnered up with outfitters throughout the world, and we've been to Africa a couple times with some outfitters. We've been to Alaska. We've been to, of course, the local states here, Colorado, Montana. We were just 2 weeks ago, we got back from Argentina. Had a group back there with us. We had a great time. But some of the crazy adventures is just spending the time with the veterans, spending the time with our members, and the memories that you build. I can't think of anything that's too wild other than maybe being charged by the water buffalo at 20 yards. That's always a lot of fun. So there's always some excitement that comes along with the hunts. I did have Quentin Dial with the 49ers out at the Duck Club this last year and guided him and here in the Gridley area, and that was a lot of fun. And if you know anything about Quentin Dial, he's about 6'8", 360 pounds, and I'm not a small guy. I'm about 6'1", 240, but or 230. Let's say 225. But he reached around, gave me a hug, and his whole hand covered my chest. And he's a great guy, and he said to me, he says, I don't know how to duck call. You're going to teach me how to duck call? And I said, sure, I'll teach you how to duck call. I said, all you got to do is put your hands up to your lips and say, come on, duck, come on, duck. And that started it off. So.
Now, when you travel to these events, what's it like trying to travel with your guns? Because you got to bring your stuff with you. And you're flying.
Typically, in the United States is not an issue. You've got to sign the waiver and you got to sign the disclosure when you get to the airport. You unload the gun, you open it up, you show TSA members, and they inspect it. Going across country or to Europe and Argentina and different countries, that's a bit more cumbersome. You got to go through the customs agent, and that's a little more detailed. They want to see that the gun is registered in your name, and you got to do that, plan that at least a good 30 to 60 days in advance, typically 90 for me. But I would say that the majority of my experiences, like going to Hawaii or going across to Alaska or anywhere else, has never been any issue, at least not at this point. And the beauty of it coming back from Argentina here recently is that we were accompanied by about 7 or 8 of the ICE agents that were there as well. So things went really smooth. There was hardly any problems whatsoever.
That's nice to hear. How many people carry their registration with them? I can't even tell you where the registration is for my weapons. I don't even know if I keep them because I figured, well, it's in the system. I can't even. I wouldn't be able to prove that.
No, they typically just look it up in the system. They're going to look at your ID, and imagine that they actually check your ID. You don't necessarily need it at the polling stations, but you do need it when you start traveling with a firearm.
Interesting. I really, once again, appreciate what you're doing so much. Thank you for being there. Thank you for the work you do with veterans. It's invaluable. And have you had any of the vets come along that you're thinking, this is a troubled soul, this guy needs something, and you by the end of the trip you've seen a dramatic turnaround?
Those particular individuals, if we do take them on a trip, it's typically a more of a fishing type environment, because the guns tend to stir up a bunch more emotions than what they want to be exhibiting. So we try to get them out more of in an exclusive area of just like an open ranch fishing pond area, either back east or Montana's, where Wild Ops would take them to a private ranch there, and try to keep them away from the guns at first if they're that troubled.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you do fishing trips as well. Sampson Outdoors, SAMPSON outdoors.com, and wildops.org, WILDOPS.org. Keep fighting the good fight, brother.
I sure appreciate it. And one thing, Charlie, I want to let everybody know about and encourage everybody to attend our banquet coming up. If you really want to help us support the vets, we got Friday, December the 11th, 2026. We're going to be at the Ridge in Auburn again this year. This will be our 5th annual banquet, and every year we continue to grow with our attendance. We continue to get additional donations, and we're pulling to try to get Uncle Ted out there this year, and he's made mention he might be there. So don't pass that around too loud, but there is that, and we always have Jeff Keith singing the national anthem for us. He's been a huge supporter for us, and we usually have a couple other guests that appear and do a short speech and talk about how we can generate more funds for the vets and obviously continue to fight the good fight.
Do you do any giveaways?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we gave away, I don't know how many different guns and different prizes. And it's not, like I said, it's not just that. There may be some non-related hunting, fishing items that we're going to give away as well. But typically it's within, I'd say $10,000 to $30,000 we give away every year at that banquet.
You and I have a friend. I've been to several of the Friends of the NRA dinners, and he's been there. Justin, I wouldn't even say his last name. He's really, really private and a quiet guy. Wins everything. So hopefully he will not be going to December 11th to your banquet. So actually I'll have a chance, because I want a chance to win something.
I hope you do, Charlie. I want you there. That'd be a lot of fun. We got to get Bob back there and have him join us as well.
I'll tell you too, I'll make this commitment to you right now. Count me in if you need any help with running tables or even an MC or a DJ. I do all that stuff. So
that'd be great.
If you need anybody, let me know. I'll be glad to help.
Okay, that sounds good, Charlie. I appreciate that.
I would be honored. SampsonOutdoors.com. All right, this is Tad Sampson. Thank you, my friend, for spending the time with us here on Do Not Talk.
Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate the opportunity, and it's nice to see your face on camera again.
Okay, I appreciate that. Again, have you been on before and I forgot?
No, I haven't been on before, but I've watched many of your settings with Bob and what have you. So, yeah, no, it's nice to see you in person.
No, I appreciate that. Well, let's get together sometime and have some brews.
That sounds good.
I'll talk to you soon, my friend. You want to help this show and get involved or book a guest slot, you can do that all through my website like Tad did. That's how he got on my show here, and I appreciate it, and I'm glad he did. It's really easy to do. Just go to my website at CharLeeSimons.com, right down there below you there, right there, CharLeeSimons.com, and click on that book a guest slot tab. Also, while you're there, click on that merch store tab. Tad, you need one of these in your workplace there at your desk. Let's talk about politics and religion. Big old 15-ounce coffee mug. Of course, it's red. That's also in my merch store at CharLeeSimons.com with shirts and hats and all kinds of things on there. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing these shows. That's the best thing you can do to help this show grow, because Facebook has deleted all of my pages, turned me off and turned me down everywhere. Meta, kinder and gentler Mark Zuckerberg showing up at President Trump's inauguration, acting like he was going to be friendlier to conservatives. Yeah, it was a lie. It was all a freaking lie. They are liars. So you can share these shows, and that's a great way to help us get these guests out there and get this information out. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America bless God.